Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Summer. So in today's video I want to share this story that I have been seeing all over Facebook, and not only Facebook, all over social media, to be honest with you. I didn't know this woman before. I wouldn't have even known about this governor, ex-governor, that you know, this story is going viral about. So basically this is a lady by the name Clara. The whole news of social media is about how she ended up being remarried after being divorced, and then they were sharing the stories about how her marriage and how they said the husband locked her up and all of those things. They were sharing stories about how the husband said that she was insane. You know, he locked her up, he wouldn't let her out, and all of those things anyway that happened. I actually came across a video where she was being interviewed, and she said that you know, that she became depressed, and she said her depression was because of what was happening in her marriage. And she talked about her weight gain. In that particular video that I watched, you know, she talked about her weight gain, saying that the weight gain was because of the medications she was taking for the depression, and that she was looking forward to losing all the weight, and you know, all of those things. She didn't deny there was something wrong with her mentally. She basically said that she was depressed as a result of what was happening in her marriage. Let's be honest, that can happen. You know, we always say it, if you have a good marriage, enjoy it. There are some people that have the worst marriages in the world. So I always say that if you have a beautiful, sweet marriage, enjoy it, cherish it, you know, protect it. There are a lot of people out there praying for what you have. Anyways, so I'm going to quickly read to you guys the one that I saw on the Daily Post, you know, how the news was. It says, Governor Chime evicts wife from government house, okay? And then it says, the crisis in the marriage between the Enugu State Governor, Sullivan Chime, and his wife, Clara Chime, has reached its peak following the eviction of the First Lady from the Enugu State Government House on Monday. Clara was handed over to her mother at Cold City Garden Estate, Enugu, by security operatives. It was gathered that the governor's wife was said to have returned to her mother by security operative at about 9 a.m. A source at Government House said she was forced into a convoy this morning and driven away by stern-looking security men. It could be recalled that agents of the Enugu State Government had allegedly attempted to return Mrs. Clara to her mother last Sunday night, but failed because her mother was said to have traveled to her village over the issue. Okay, the security men who stormed this estate at about 9 p.m. last Sunday reportedly returned with Clara to Government House Lodge after the brutal exercise. Meanwhile, the leader of the traditional rulers in Amuda, the native town of Mrs. Clara Chime, Igwe Bob Owena, has kicked against the ill treatment against their daughter. He disclosed that the traditional rulers in the area have concluded arrangements to meet with Governor Chime over the development. He expressed sadness over the manner their daughter was treated, adding that such was not how to dissolve a marriage that produced a son. Meanwhile, a source close to Clara said her eventual return home had brought a sigh of relief to her, as she had since lost interest in the marriage. Okay, according to Mrs. Clara, she was forced to remain as wife of Governor Sullivan Chime, adding that she would have walked away from the marriage during the period Chime was sick, away for 5 months, but remained on very compassionate grounds. So she was compassionate when he was unwell. Okay, Mrs. Chime said her thinking was that sickness would change the governor's ways towards her, but stated that he even got worse months after he returned from undergoing a cancer treatment abroad. According to her, on many occasions she attempted to leave her family members for pecuniary reasons, insisting she stayed put. She said even when it was apparent that Chime no longer wanted the marriage, her family wouldn't let her go. Okay, there's so many angles to this story that if we go into it, this video will be as long as whatever. There are so many angles. If a marriage is already so troublesome from what we've heard, why did her family tell her to stay put? It is still that our African Nigerian mentality that woman must stay. And another area that I want to touch on is, see, when he was unwell, she stayed on compassionate ground. But you see, our women are being raised well. That is our culture. Women have to be raised well for marriage, but our men are not being raised for marriage. That is a big mistake we make in our culture, that ends up jeopardizing our daughters' marriages in the future. We raise girls from the day they are born to end up being good wives. Nobody is really raising men to grow up to be good sons. As much as you would want your sons to marry good wives tomorrow, you should remember that your daughters too will need to be married to good men tomorrow. So how are we raising them? Her husband was unwell, cancer treatment. She stayed on compassionate ground for 5 months. He was unwell. Oh, he went abroad for treatment. You see, it is still the way we are raising our. Until we raise our sons and daughters to be home builders, to be people that work to save their marriages. One person cannot save a marriage. It takes two for a marriage to be saved. Our society, we need to change. Stop telling our women to save your marriages. Your marriage is your hand, is a lie. It takes two for marriages to be saved. That is another side. The other side I want to address is that this woman has remarried after, they said after about 10 years. Her marriage broke up. All of this, I think, happened since 2013, something like that. There was another place I actually read where she was explaining, I think 3 years after she walked away from the marriage, she actually was the one that tried to file for a divorce because they were separated. After the man from the report went and gave her back to her mother, you know, after a few years, she was being interviewed and she said, we're separated at the moment, but she said, I'm filing for a divorce. And she was talking about her hopes for the future and stuff like that. That video, I'll put a link, you guys can check it out. I can put it on the screen. You can just search it on here on YouTube and you can listen to this woman yourself. And, you know, and there was another place I read where she said that she's now working, you know, from what I read, she has a good job and she was doing well. And she said that the man has not allowed her to see her children. It is still a problem I've been addressing. When a marriage breaks up, the children did not break up with their father or their mother. It is the couple that broke up. That other relationship is like this, like a triangle. This is the child, that's the father, that's the mother. The father and the mother relationship cuts off. This other side, father-child relationship, mother-child relationship shouldn't be cut off. Now, husband break up, no be, children do not break up with their father or their mother. A man may think, or a woman may think, you're punishing a man by not allowing him see his child or his children. No, it is the innocent children you're punishing. I grew up in a home where I was cut off. We were cut off from our mother. I've shared my story how I grew up in a broken home. Although my parents later got back together after 10 years. We had already grown up and left, right? When they got back together. But when my mother wasn't allowed to see us, we were the ones. We felt the pain. We were being punished. But I don't think parents think about this things. I'm hoping at this point the son will be hopefully old enough one day to go look for his mother by himself when he becomes an adult, right? But the thing is this, people that do it, you cannot give that child those years. You can't give it back to them. It is something you've done that you cannot undo. Those 10 years, 20 years that child will miss out on, especially there are some men that they break up or women break up, the father will not want to even see his own children. Now even woman with a beg say, see your children now. There are some, you understand, there are some women that are broken up from a marriage, they move on and they never look back, they don't look for their children. But when that avenue is being blocked by a parent, you should know that you're not punishing the father or their mother, you're punishing those children. They are the innocent victims of this whole setup. Okay, I want to address that aspect as well. But anyways, I like where she was explaining how she was doing well financially. She got a good job and she was doing well. That is another area that I think a lot of our Nigerian women fail, is moving on and doing something with your life. She's not waiting. She said it was not paying her any whatever, nothing. So she went and found something to do with her life. She carried on with her life until love found her again. But you know, some of our women, when something like this happens, it's like their life is over. They will not even make the effort to do something with their lives. And I can bet you that the fact that she moved on is the reason why, it may play a role in why love found her. Because she was busy doing something with her life. And when this man met her, he met a woman that was somebody. She doesn't have to be a billionaire or a millionaire, but she was somebody. She was not just, another thing I don't like is, you know, people are still calling her Clara Chime. They are divorced. I don't know why they are still calling her that name. Okay, going back to this. Women need to learn. When something is up, like this story, if you look at this story now, there is something, from what we're seeing, you know, from what we read and all of those things. If the marriage no let do again, it's not within her control. She said she thought the man would change. The man did not change. Bundle her with security operatives to go dump for her mother, right? It wasn't within her control anymore. She didn't sit down and be acting like a widow and be looking. She moved on with her life. I'm always going to keep emphasizing that we have one life. Oh, live it well. Something else I want to say that came to my mind. Do not look at her. Look at the picture of when she was married to this guy. And look at the picture of her today. The difference is too much. A bad marriage can ruin you. I'm telling you. Look at the pictures. I'm looking at it, I was like, is it the same person? But when you look at it, oh wow, it's actually the same person. Right? So seeing all of those things and seeing that there is a life. She has a new, let me put a new life. Now, I want to address this other aspect when it comes to our Christianity and how we talk about divorce and all of those things. I sat down and I'm going to be honest because I didn't know this woman before, but when I heard her story and I looked through it and I watched that video where she was walking up whatever, she was getting married and saw her walking, and I looked at that woman as an ordinary human being. I'm going to be honest, it put a smile on my face to see a woman that all these stories about, you know, that the husband said she had heard no correct. That was why he locked her up or whatever he was saying, you know. And she said, yes, she was depressed, but she was depressed because of the problems in her marriage. Now seeing her like this, moving on and getting married, and look at the transformation. It put a smile on my face. I'm an ordinary human being. It put a smile. And a lot of people, the post people are making is a very positive post. People are happy for her. Right? And then I thought to myself, now I'm not quoting Bible now, because when I quote Bible, I will tell you, when I'm speaking as an ordinary human being, I'm saying to myself, I'm being 100% honest, I will say to myself, if us as human beings can be happy for her, and we're watching it with a smile on our faces, seeing this new chapter in her life, and then I sit back and I say, will God judge her for being divorced and remarried? I'm just being honest now, so I don't quote Bible. But I'm saying, if we can be happy for her, why won't God be happy for her? Why won't God be pleased for her? Why can't this actually be a testimony? Questions that I'm asking in my head, I keep emphasizing. Why can't it be that, okay, this is God wiping away her tears? Because that's what it looks like. To me, that's what it looks like. Because don't forget, there was nothing she could do. From what she said, she thought he would change or whatever. He didn't change. And it ended because of whatever it was. This Heavenly Father that says that if our earthly fathers know how to do good things for us, how much more Him that is our Heavenly Father. There is no way her earthly father will not be happy to see his daughter now, you know, starting afresh. But then I'm saying to myself, this God that loves her more than her earthly father, will God not be happy for her as well? Because I can bet you, a lot of Christians will say that is a sin. She shouldn't be divorced. She should have stayed in that other marriage. I really hope you people are getting my point. That's the area that I'm really trying to understand. And I'm processing all these things in my head. I just wanted to quickly come and share this video to show how a bad marriage can basically ruin somebody. And how this woman transformed after she left the marriage she said was a terrible marriage. To show what it can do. At the same time, I want to show how a woman can actually pick herself up. Let's actually leave remarrying for 1 second. But the idea of a woman being able to be somebody, even if the man say no marry you again, to be able to do something with your life. I want to show that there is a life even without a marriage. Of course, she had it for 10 years, and you can see how she was glowing while she was not married. Right? And then the other aspect then is the aspect of, will God be pleased with this woman? Will God not be happy and say, okay, she's happy now, she's been through a lot? And you understand, can this be God wiping away her tears? I'm going to leave it here, but I really want everybody to contribute their opinions. What do you think about this and all these things that I have addressed? Feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Until the next time, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.